So someone sent me an amazing Facebook post by a young lady, Akima Paul Lambert. And I suggest you go take a look at it on her Facebook page. Akima Paul Lambert. And finally, she is also asking for clarity, truth, and accountability on the Polaris Plan project. This young lady made a very, very pertinent post and basically dealt with many aspects of questions that should be asked as it pertains to Polaris. Well, you know my take on it. It is a white elephant. I will repeat it again. At this point, at this stage, it remains a white elephant, and Polaris is a hoax. I still believe that it is just an attempt to create an economy of sorts for its proponents. This is what it is, and also to galvanize some sort of hypnotic psychological support and unity that is probably fading. This is what this is about. To collectively galvanize support. It's a ritual of sorts. It's like, here is some fantastic project that if we keep talking about it, guess what? We're going to get our followers to coalesce around this project. This is what this is about. You ain't fooling me. So more importantly, the young lady also saw through this. So I suggest you go take a look at what she has to say. Okay, I'm not going to repeat it here. Akima Paul Lambert. Check her out on Facebook, and she is making a lot of sense. And I know I've been saying this for months upon months, and I think it was probably only Jenny Simon who got a wind of that from the get-go. But I've been saying this for months upon months upon months. And Jenny Simon also saw through a lot of this because she has given it the proper attention. So I'm saying to you, it's about high time that you look into this. You see, the thing about it, I find it's a little disrespectful in some respects. I feel like the intellect of Grenadians is being disrespected with this. Because I want you to understand, I know everybody think all you're bright and all you're young and all you're bright. But I want you to understand, Grenada is littered with many intellectual and bright people, even in Grenada and the diaspora. So when you all feel that you all are some select few and you all are bright and young, do not deceive yourselves. I understand the people locally wouldn't want to say anything because of fear of intimidation and for fear of consequences, and they have mortgages and they have car notes and they have to take care of their children. So they're afraid to say it. So we are a little more at liberty to speak about this because y'all don't control our finances. But don't delude yourselves into believing that y'all the brightest set of Grenadians. And as the young lady said, there's a bunch of people that is associated themselves with these bright and young people, hoping that by osmosis, the brilliance may pass through. Wow, that was pretty good. That was pretty good metaphors that lady was using. She's pretty good at it. I heard she's a very smart young lady anyway, so no surprises there. But the older ones among you, they know me. I've sat on school benches with them. They know me. So they should know that I've always defended the downtrodden and literally fought for them. So why are you thinking now that we are going to sit back and allow our Grenadian people, the poor and the vulnerable, and those who are a little bit unaware, to be taken advantage of? It's not going to happen. Like the young lady and people like myself and others, we don't need to we don't need to attach ourselves to people to feel some sense of accreditation or to feel some sense of, oh, well, we're intellects too. We don't need. We don't need to be certified by you guys. Talk about you're all so bright. Young and you're bright. You can't build a goddamn retaining wall. So much for your brightness. You're young and you're bright. And you're disastrously almost destroy half a closet. Can't even build a goddamn retaining wall. But you're young and you're bright.
Was nutzt in ihrer Intellekt, wenn sie nicht nutzen können, Probleme zu lösen und Lösungen zu finden? What is the use of all your intellect if it cannot be used to solve problems and create solutions? So what's the use of you being bright and young if you can't find creative solutions to real life material problems? But you're bright. Again, from the get-go, nonsensical economics. You can't take 3/4 of your GDP. You can't invest 3/4 of your GDP on one project. Because if that project goes belly up, Grenada would descend into a hole economically. And then what are you going to do? You're going to leave generations to take care of it? Who, in their good financial sound reasoning, will follow this? Who would engage in this? Who would be part of this? And you want to sell this to Grenadian people? And you're talking about intellect? Are we nuts? I mean, I ain't no financial guru. I'm not even a finance guy and a business guy. But fundamental, uncommon sense. And I specifically say uncommon sense because common sense is not common. So I've decided to call it uncommon sense. Would tell you diversification in investments is the way to go. I didn't need to study business management or be some economist to understand that. That is not my forte. But fundamental uncommon sense will tell you that if your GDP is just over and above $1 billion, that you don't take $750 million, because this is going to be in the range of $700 to $750 million. So you can't take $750 million, which is 3/4 of your GDP, and invest in one white elephant. That, from the get-go, is disastrous economics. And now you're engaging in a begging campaign to try to fund this. Now this is what? This is the master financial guru economics that we are pursuing. That is madness. So if you engage in a begging campaign to fund this, what you gonna do to maintain it? Because if you think funding this is one thing, the maintenance, okay, of this massive white elephant is gonna cost you a penny to staff it, to maintain it, the equipment, the daily operational running of this place is gonna cost you. So what are you gonna do then? You're gonna engage in another begging campaign to maintain it? But you know what is sad? Just like on Cloget, when I brought some clarity to Cloget, and Jenny Simon and Bob brought some clarity to Cloget, and you guys were, looking at me differently and said, oh, this guy, he doesn't like the administration. Oh, look at him. Look what he's saying. And quite obviously, what I was saying made sense. And everything that I said was adopted. And now we have amazing progress. So now you're going to look at it and say, oh, look at him. Oh, he's putting on Project Polaris. Oh, he doesn't want us to have a fantastic project. No, that is not what I'm saying. I am saying that you should be reasonable, practical, have a definitive plan. Let's see the numbers. Let's see your definitive plan of how you're going to fund this. A matter of fact, from A to Z, I have spoken about this on several videos I made on Hanovi Global Network. So I'm not even going to delve too much into it again because I've spoken extensively. I've thoroughly analyzed this. Okay? More so than the people who are proposing it. So again, unfortunately, I have a strong feeling that I am going to be proven right on this again. I have a very strong feeling that I will be. And sadly, just like all these people who had some level of intellect, who understood what was going on in Closure, didn't want to say anything, I was the only one that had the courage, the cojones, to call it for what it is, because I realized it was a disaster that needed to be fixed. So all of you stood back. Some of you have all this experience. Some of you are architects, engineers. You live in Grenada. You said nothing. And you saw this disaster taking place. Again, we have the same situation where there are tons of economists and financial people in Grenada, smart people who understand this. There are tons of Grenadians in the diaspora who are financial execs, who are financial business people, who are actually in that field. And you guys, you claim to be such patriots. You claim to love Grenada so much. You claim to love the NDC much. You claim to love the NDC so much, and you would not be intellectually honest with them. That is not love. That is dangerous indulgence. That is hypocrisy. You don't really love these people, because if you did, you would be intellectually honest with them. I personally know several Grenadian accountants, financial people, who have worked with some of the biggest banks in New York City. Okay? Personally know them. And you guys sit back and you don't say nothing. You don't say one damn thing. You're talking about, oh, I love the NDC. Oh, yeah. You guys are traitors to your own self. But you're going to wait till this ends up in a disaster, and then all of a sudden, you're going to come along and you say, I kind of knew so, but I just didn't say anything. Same thing you did with Closure. None of you had the courage. None of you had the guts. Okay? I was the man who put myself on the line to say everything, to speak truth to power, to be intellectually honest. And thankfully, the result was awesome. Now we have a certain level of progress on Closure. Not entirely. There's a lot of work to be done still, but we're heading in the right direction. So again, talking about your patriots, and there are people around these people who are financial people. As I said, that is not even my forte. And you guys are sitting there and you would not say anything. You're talking about you love your country and you love the NDC. Who are you trying to fool? Who are you trying to fool? If you did, you'd have been honest about all of this.
You better come straight. You better get rid of that nonsensical voodoo economics when it comes to Project Polaris, because we are going to hold you accountable.